All right, let's start recording. So as you can see here, well, one, let me just point out that you could totally watch the other YouTube video from FreeCodeCamp of a guy making rock, paper, scissors. Not sure who he is, but he's a freaking genius. And yeah, I highly recommend. It's the link right above this one in the webpage if you haven't checked it out. But what I'm going to do is my own thing, and it's going to be similar, but maybe a little bit different. And also, I learned how to hit the pause button. Check this out. Look, I can talk, and now I can talk again over here, and it's like, whoa, jump cuts and stuff. Anyway, sorry, I'm being silly. Anyway, so right here we have rock, paper, scissors. I have gotten this, I made a new file. I hit the exclamation point. All this is boilerplate text. Basically, it just autofilled. I did change this from document to rock, paper, scissors. And I want to come in here and add a little heading, H1. And I'll probably say this like cool game. And I think in the video, the other guy, like he makes this a little header section, which again is a little bit like a CSS or a div. And a div is really good. Like you should have divs. And we know that this is going to be in the header. So I'm okay with that. And then I'm going to have like a main section down here, which again is a little bit like a div. It just tells us, hey, this is going to be where the main content's going to go. And I'm going to have, well, what I want to have is like, I don't know, just like let's go ahead and give this a paragraph here, I guess, and let's call this like let's call it like player score. So let's call it class. We're going to give it a class. We could also give it an ID. Well, let's give it a class of score and an ID of player score. Well, let's just call this human score. Human score. Human score. There we go. And then just for funsies, I'll put a 0 in there, and then I'll have another P. Similar to this one, honestly. Like, let's just copy that, paste it. And I want the same score for the class, but I think for the ID, we're going to have this call it computer score. That'll do. And then I want to have, I don't know, some buttons. I think he makes buttons out of images and stuff. We're going to have this class. Let's go ahead and give this a class of option. And then let's give this an ID of equals rock btn. Yeah. And let's just make it say rock. There we go. Cool. Copy that and paste it and paste it. And I'm going to make this rock. This is paper. And make it say paper. And this is scissors. Scissors is hard to spell. Scissors. Oh, I got it right here on line 7. Yay, C-I-S-S-O-R-S. That's a lot, man. C-I-S-S-O-R-S. There we go. And S-C-I-S-S-O-R-S. Boy, I hope that I spelled that right. But at least I spelled it consistently. And for now, I think that'll be good. Let's save it. Let's look at what that looks like. How do I open this thing? Oh. Yeah, let me come over to here. I got it saved in my desktop in a folder called week 6. So I'm gonna open that up, RPS right over here, and this is what it looks like right now, which totally looks fine to me. You know, like super good. This is great. No complaints at all. No complaints. No, this is what it looks like right now, and it works. I guess I could make this a little bit more clear. Rock, paper, scissors, cool game. Rock, paper, scissors. If I click these things, nothing quite happens. If I inspect it, I'm not getting any errors. But again, nothing's really happening here. So I'm good with that. Let's go ahead and add, well, let's go ahead and add some extra spots because, hold on a second, and I'm back. And so when I think about this though, like I should have started out by drawing this out, right? Because like what I want, here's my little 3x5 card, like there. I want like some words over there. The web page, the video, the other video had it looking pretty cool. He had like a score and another score, and he had like some buttons down here, and he had like some words, and he had like a taunt down here, right? Like this is, where's this at? Make sure you can see this. This is kind of what it looked like with like, you know, he had a title, he had a couple of scores, he had like some words, like the output basically, and then he had his 3 buttons and he had like a little taunt down here. I like that. I guess I could have my score be a little bit, you know, more like that. Definitely want some taunts. So let's go back into the code really quick and let's have some of those things here, right? So let's go ahead and give, oh, you know what I can do? If I think about this, I can get my whole score here in kind of the same situation because I can just make this its own like tag, can't I? So yeah, let's go ahead and let's think about this. I want a sentence that looks like this: player score like 0, computer score 0, right? I want this kind of sentence, and I just want it in a sentence. I don't want anything fancy here. I just want it in a sentence. I can make that all one sentence by creating like a paragraph around it. Well, I guess end paragraph is a better way to describe it. Let's take this paragraph down to here though. Control X, put it down to the bottom here, and then see right here where this, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make that paragraph start here. We're gonna take this ID and we're gonna put it right here. Shoot. What did I call it? ID equals player. Oh, I called it human, didn't I? Human score. And then we're going to put that 0 inside of this. Okay. Now I've effectively called that particular thing, I've given it an ID. Haven't given it any other style, haven't really given it anything else, but that particular bit of text has an ID. Okay? And I can come over here and do the same thing with this other little bit of text. Let me just make sure I can do that. Paste it. And let's call this computer score, and let's go ahead and save that, and let's refresh my page really quick. If I refresh it, I now have player score 0, computer score 0. If I inspect this, I'm not necessarily getting any issues. Nope, no red issues anywhere. Like in my main section, like this is seeming to work just fine, right? Human score is there. I'm sorry, did I screw this up? Human score, ID human score. That's weird. That is looking weird. I think I need to look at my code really quick. Changed my ID here. Right? This is, because the ID is not a tag. ID is not a tag. And so I need something else to make this a tag so I can close the tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this an EM tag. And I'm going to, like, it's emphasis. And I'll put it into, like, this, and this needs a quote as well. Oh, okay. So that could probably be why that was a little broken. Let's save that. See if that works. I think the emphasis is better than just the ID. Let's see how it looks though. I just have saved it, and just make sure that this is still on the screen. This is. Let's go ahead and refresh this. Back into my main section, back into my paragraph. Here we go. We have an emphasis, and we have an ID. This is looking good. This is looking good. We're going to leave them like this, emphasis and ID for now, and see if I can mess with it without having that emphasis, but I don't know. I don't know. I think I can just like close this ID. This is interesting. ID, and this is closing it like that. That does not look like that in my code, right? In my code, it just looks like end ID. And the browser is kind of like helping me out, I guess. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and have, so the next thing, right? Now that I've got my buttons, it looks okay. Enough, okay? I'm sure I could put an image in here if I really wanted to for my button, but for now, I don't want to. What I do want to do, though, is link, what I do want to do is have a, I'll just put it down here, a source of, like, a script. And so I think it's a source, and that's going to be, let's call it rps.js. as the name of my script. And then let's save that and let's make a script. So file, new file. Let's go ahead and call it rps.js. And here RPS stands obviously for rock, paper, scissors. We're going to put it in the same folder so that it's easy to get to. Okay, and then we're going to make an alert happen. Alert. And basically we're just going to say, hey, it works. And this is what I do like literally like every time, just because now when I load the page up, it's going to call this script, and this script is going to have an alert. So let's go ahead and Alt-Tab into the page. Boom. And refresh the page. We get an alert. Hey, it works. That's fantastic. So now I can come into my script, and I can comment that out. And I'm going to comment it out instead of just like deleting it, because I'm sure I'm going to do more stuff later, right? Let's go ahead and on click for the rock. Let's go on click. Let's go ahead and call, what should we call? Make choice. And let's throw in rock in here. Boom. All right, did that work? No. Okay, so that didn't work because I've got double quotes and I got double quotes. So I need single quotes here, and I need a single quote here. Okay, and so now this is happy because double quotes are on the outside. You can nest quote marks, but you can't nest the same quote marks, right? So let's go ahead and save this, and let's go into make choice. And then we're going to need to make a function. So function, and the name of my function was make choice because I just named it that. C-H-O-I-C, I think is how I spelled it. Make choice, yeah. If I were really concerned about this, I would just like, I don't know. And then let's call this choice. And then let's go ahead and do console dot, is it console.log? Yeah, console.log. There it is. And let's just print out choice. So whatever we're sending it, let's go and do that. And what I'm expecting now is that when I can click on the rock button, here's the rock button when I refresh the page. Got to refresh the page. If I click on the rock button, I'm expecting in the console for it to say rock. Hey, woo, that's good. I think that's really good. And also, now let's check it. I'm just gonna like make sure this and this worked properly. Let's make the paper count this player score up, and the scissors will count that score up. Now, obviously, this is not how rock, paper, scissors work. I'm just making sure that like it will work, okay? So go into my little Visual Studio Code again, right there, and make sure I'm still recording. Looks good so far. So you know what? Sliding over to the left is annoying. Let's go view word wrap. Thanks. Okay, so it's a little bit more up and down now, but that's okay. Oh, there we go. Scroll this down here. So I did the make choice rock, and then that was on click for this line. So for button, I'm going to do another on click right there, and I'm going to go change score, sure, and I'll just put in, oh no, I'll just put in player right there, player, that's the human, and perfect. And on this one for the button, sorry, don't hit the enter button, on click, it's going to be change score, and I'm going to use computer. Perfect. And so effectively I'm making a function here, and I'm passing in function human, or into the function I'm passing in the human, like it's called argument, or it is called a parameter, and it is also, like I normally think of this as like the value of a variable, right? Like when I make the change score function, I'm gonna have a variable here, just like I did right here. With make choice, I've got a variable called choice, and the value of that variable for now is rock. And so I'm going to make a change score function, and I'm going to send that value of human, and I'm going to send that value of computer into it. So let's go ahead and save this, and then let's come into here and let's go ahead and make our function change score, and we're going to have which score, which change, which score. What makes sense to call this? Is it player or computer? Human or computer? This is Well, let's just call it player. Sure, and then we can just change the player score. And whether the player is a human player or a computer player, the player score gets changed either way. That's fine. That's, sure, I guess that's fine. Okay, so what we're going to want to do, though, is we're going to want to change either, this is funny, what is the ID here? The ID is paper button. No. The ID is human score. And then down here, the ID is computer score. Okay, so we're going to document dot get element by ID and dot inner HTML, not inner height, inner HTML. That's a comma. That should say dot inner HTML. Oh, no. We need by ID. We need to put our ID in here. And the ID is computer score. I'm just going to copy that. No, I'm going to get human score first. Copy the human score. Boom. And then dot inner inner HTML is now going to get the value of, oh gee, how am I going to do this? You know, for, because what I want to do is count up, right? But I don't really know what it's at right now. It's at 0. Let's just make it 1. Okay, sure. When I click the button, the human score is basically going to make itself 1. Let's see if this happens. This is ridiculous. It's funny. It's funny though. Click the paper. Definitely cannot. Yeah, okay. Cannot set property of null, setting inner HTML at change. Okay, button on click right here. So JavaScript 7, right? JavaScript 7 right here, inner HTML. So I feel like I should be able to get that. Let's go to get element by ID, and let's check out the Mozilla one. And right here, here's my ID. Here's an example. So I have a paragraph of an ID para, right? And I'm going to get element by ID, quote marks. Quote marks, all right, so like quote marks here. Quote marks here, save that. Back into my HTML page, refresh this, click the paper button. Hey, it turned into a 1. That is genius. I wasn't that off. Okay, but if I do it again, it doesn't change. It's always just 1, which is a little bit annoying, but that's okay. Because what happens here is because, like, technically speaking, we can't like add 1 to it, right? Like, we can't add 1 to it. Could we? Could we? We could. We could add 1 to it. We just need to get a oh, you know what? Hold on a second. We need to have a let, and we'll call it current score. Okay, is going to get the value of this. Copy, paste it. And then just for funsies, I am all over the place with my view word wrap thing. Thank you. And look at that. That's a semicolon. That's a semicolon. I like semicolon, guys. I'm going to keep adding semicolons. But let's go ahead and just for the fun of it, console.log current score. Okay, and then let's not do this yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the current score, maybe, from human score, which is hilarious, but let's do it. Save it, and refresh it, and paper button. Let's go to my console, paper. I got 0. Ooh, I got a 0. That is nice. Okay, so I have current score. Current score is a variable, all right? So if I do this, and then I can do current score, +1. Boom. All right, so now I should be able, because that's 0, and 0 plus 1 is going to be 1. Yes, yes. And then if it's 1, then I should be able to do 1 plus 2, or plus 1 is going to be 2. This is good. I'm super pumped about this. Super pumped about this. Let's go ahead and refresh it. Click the button. Okay, so this is 0. That makes sense. This is 0, 1, not anticipated. And if I plus it again, I got a 0, 1, which is, and then over here I have a 0, 1, 1, which is not even correct in binary. Like, I will just say that. This is wrong. This is wrong. And I think what's wrong here is that, like, the default value here is, like, it's not recognizing that this is a number. Okay, this is recognizing this as a character, like a letter. And you know, zeros can be letters too, I suppose. But when you take two letters and you add them together, you start making like a word, right? If I took like, I don't know, the T and the O and I added them together, I would get the word two, which makes sense, but doesn't do what we want. So we need to find out how to make current score into a number. And I think that there's this parse int. Let me come into here again. Let me do a search for parse. And I know the word parse, but you know, parse int. Yeah, there we go. The word parse means to, like, what does parse mean? What's the actual definition of it here really quick? Look up parse. Apparently, the dictionary says it's to analyze a sentence into its parts and describe their syntactic roles. And normally when I use the word parse, I think of it as like, yeah, look at this stuff and like find the whatever it is that I'm after. Boy, I'm not a good English teacher. But anyway, parse int literally means, hey, I'm going to throw in some stuff in here, a string. I'm going to throw a string in there, and then I'm going to get a number out of it. Okay, and hopefully that makes sense. And so hopefully I give it a good bit of information. So yeah. So we're going to throw in a string, and we are going to get out either a number as an integer or not a number. Sweet. So let's go ahead and try this. Let's go. It's just called parse int. So I'm going to go back into my code, and I'm going to console.log. Well, actually, let me parse int right here. Parse int. Because I want this whole thing to be an integer. Okay, so I'm just going to get it as an integer, save it here, it's an integer. I'm going to print it out, still an integer, and then here, still an integer. Hopefully it'll still work. And integers here, just a fancy way of saying whole number, okay? So an integer is just a whole number, but it's specifically a whole number, okay? It is not text pretending to be a number, got a 0, got a 1, this is good, got a 1, got a 2, whew, it's working. So as long as I parse the int, and because, again, it looks like a number, I can just make it into a number. This is like the idea of changing a variable type is a really important idea. Yeah, some programmers, most programming languages handle this a little bit differently. Some programming languages don't care what about your variable type is. In fact, JavaScript is one of those what we call loosely typed languages. So it's a loosely typed language. It doesn't care if it's a string or a number or a different kind of number or a Boolean, or if it's heck, it could be a JavaScript object. It doesn't care. It's all just a variable according to JavaScript. And so because of that, right, we're getting some strings here. This is a string, and we're turning it into an integer, and now we can do math on integers because integers are numbers. I like this. You will note, though, that this is only working for player right now, which is the human, right? It is not working for the computer. And if we look at this, though, really, this is good. The only thing that needs to change is this is either going to be the human player or the computer player. And so let's go ahead and let's see if we can do a thing. If we can, if player get is that's the double thing is what am I calling it? I'm sending it a value of human. If player is human, then this is all bad code. This is bad code. Then make what do I want to call this? Then score to change. Boy, I'm sure that there's a better variable. Gets the value of human score, right? And then else, score to change gets the value of computer score, right? And that was the correct value, computer score, human score, computer score. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So again, this is what we're going to call pseudocode. And this doesn't work, but I can make it work because this is just, you know, a little bit wrong. So we're going to set it up so that it's right. If human, sorry, there we go. This should be in quote marks because it's going to be a human. Then we're going to do this, and we don't need the then question or the names. And then we need a let here. Well, I want that. Yeah, sure, score. I wonder if I can do that too. Change, perfect, human score. And then this is, that's the end of that. So if it runs, that'll go. Else, if this isn't human, it will just do this. And let's make sure that these are the same both ways. Copy that, paste it right here. Good. And then let's go for that. And let's let that, because I'm initiating the variable. This is the first time I'm using the variable. I have to make it, and then I have to give it a value. And so now I can take my score to change, and I can just put that in here for the ID, paste it, and then I can put this in here for the ID as well, paste it. And now I have basically made this one function. It's going to change the score, and if the player is a human, it's going to change the human score. If it's not the human, it must be the computer because I only have 2 players. It's going to change the other person's score. So let's go ahead and save that, and let's double check to make sure this makes sense. Again, player score here, human score. That's funny. Human score, thank you. There we go. Be consistent, Stephen. Human score, computer score. This is going to go human, this is going to go computer, but honestly it could say anything because it's not computer, so it'll just go. Let's go ahead and Alt-Tab over into my code real quick. This is my page. The rock still works. The paper, I have an issue. Score to change is not defined, which is sad, which is very sad. Line 14 right here, current score, score to change is not, this apparently has not been, not been defined. Not been defined. Did I not define it right here? Was this score to change not the same thing? Okay, you know what? Hold on. If player triple equals human? Also, what I can do here too is I can console, because I'm confused, right? Console.log. And because I'm confused, I'm going to print out the player. What is the player? What did we get here? And then let's just change one thing at a time, save it. So let's go into here. This my double equals maybe an issue. Paper. I'm getting human. Okay, that's good. But it's still not defined. And so like apparently this isn't happening. And also this isn't happening. Which confuses me a little bit, because if the player isn't a human, then this should run. Right? Very confusing about that. So let's go ahead and, can I do this? Can I now go player? So I'm going to check this. Human. Basically, this is going to return a value. This is going to be a true or false value. This is going to ask a question. Player, you know, equal to human. And I'm expecting to see a true here. So let's save it. Let's refresh this page. And in fact, I do see a true. I see a true. So this is running, right? Like, so I can, right here, let's console.log, and let's go ahead and console.log the score to change. Okay. So I don't need this because that should be here. Save it. And I'm expecting to see human score. I'm expecting to see human score. Yeah. Let's refresh this paper. I'm seeing human score. Okay. So here's the fun part. This works here. This works. But somehow score to change down here is not there anymore. And that is because this let keyword defines a variable that exists between these brackets. That's what's happening. So by effectively creating the variable inside of these brackets, this just doesn't work anymore. This variable doesn't exist out here. And we can see that because of the error we're getting. So if I take this, let score right here. Oh, shoot. See, copy it. I'm going to put it right here. And I'm just going to have it equal to nothing right now. Okay, just nothing. Okay. I've created the variable up here. I don't need to create it down here. I can use it down here though. And I don't need to create it down here. I can use it down here. And so now when I go save this, well, when I save this, I've got the variable created in the correct scope. And that means that I have a human score. And I have another human score and I have a scissors. Okay, so my scissors didn't quite work, which is sad. I'm a little sad about that. But we can find out why. Cannot read properties of null, reading inner HTML. So in line 16, we parsed the int over here, and this is saying that its inner HTML is null, which is interesting, which means the computer score here isn't spelled right. That would be my guess. Let's go ahead and double check. So I'm going to come in here. Here is my ID, computer score. I'm going to come into here, and this is, I'm just going to paste it right here. Computer score. That looks very similar. I'll be honest, very similar. So yeah, look at that. It's the same. I would expect if it works for this one, it should work for this one. Okay. So let's copy this. Let's paste this down here. And then let's go ahead and let's add a little bit more here. In this, sorry, right here, because now I've got the same console.log, right? So I don't know which one it's coming from, which is just interesting news. So let's go ahead and add some words here. So this is human, and then plus. And this should be computer. And I'm adding a blank space here, so I get a space on my output. Save it. So now I can run it. Refresh this. And if I click paper, I should see it say human probably. Human score. Perfect. And with scissors, I'm seeing computer and computer score, but I'm still getting this cannot read properties of null. Reading inner HTML. Change score. And buff it. Okay, so this is telling us where it's starting, and then where it's going, and then what the issue is. Okay, so it still works for human score though, totally. But this one not working, and that is because I don't think that it's recognizing this right here. Where are we at? This computer score? I don't think it works. I don't think it knows that ID is a thing, right? I think we need something here. So let's add an EM to this, and let's close this with an EM, and let's go ahead and save that, because that's the only difference that I could see, right? Let's go ahead and refresh this, and let go paper. That works. Scissors totally works again. So we've learned a couple of things. First thing we've learned is that we need to have actual tags, actual HTML elements or HTML tags that we can then give an ID to. We can't just have the ID with all by itself. That doesn't work. And so I'm good with this now. It's working. I can change scores and stuff. So let's go ahead and, well, now that we know that logic is happening, okay, we can do other things. So first thing we can do is actually change this to make choice, right? Copy that, paste this, and paste this. And let's go ahead and make this say paper. And I'm using lowercase numbers or letters, SCISSORS. I could also use things like 1, 2, and 3. Like legitimately, 1, 2, and 3 would totally work. In fact, I might want to do that. Well, later on it might help me. But right now, let's just go with rock, paper, scissors. Okay, and you're right, why would later on it might help? Because mathematically speaking, I can compare things 1, 2, and 3 real easy, right? Like if rock beats scissors, well, hold on a second. Let's go from the scissors beats paper, paper beats rock, right? So if scissors was 3, 3 is bigger than 2, that makes sense. 2 is bigger than 1, totally makes sense. 1, you gotta loop it around, but that's just one issue. Everything else just makes logical sense, right? And granted, I'm only doing rock, paper, scissors, but if I were doing like rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock, right? Like it might be more fun, might be a little bit easier to do the math. But I don't want to do the math. I want to do the making of the choice. So I'm going to do rock, paper, scissors here. Super fun stuff. So now I've got my choice. I can log this choice. I'm going to change the scores. I think my score thing is like, honestly, it's beautiful. I don't think I need to change anything there. I want to go and double check to make sure that like now when I click this, I should see rock, I should see paper, I should see scissors. This is great. And I think that what I want to have happen is when I click the rock or the paper or the scissors, the computer should pick a thing, right? And then the computer choice and the human choice should be compared to see who wins and who ties and who loses. And so I'm okay with console.choice right here. There's a bell. I don't have to leave. We are good. So now I just need to make some comments here. First, I need to check what's easiest. I need wins, I need lose, and I need ties. And ties are actually really easy because they're just the same. Oh, no, I need, I need computer to choose. So, okay, so let's let the computer choose. Let's make a variable here, let. I don't know, computer choice. Sure, that I'm sure we've been using that somewhere else, right? Like, have we not used that computer choice yet? Have we not made a computer choice? No, we haven't made a computer choice anywhere else yet, so that makes sense. So let computer choice equal, get the value of what we want here is like a random, right? Random between like rock, paper, or scissors, right? Now, how do I do a random rock, paper? Again, this is where like math could, because like I know how I can get like a random number in math, right? Like I could just like ask for a random number. And okay, so it's one more step, right? I just need to get a random number, and then I need to assign a different value to those random numbers. So like if it's a 1, then it's rock. If it's a 2, then it's paper. Otherwise, it's a scissors, okay? That I can do. I just need a random number here between 0 and 3. No, between 0 and 2, because that'll be 3 options, or between 1 and 3, because that'll be 3 options, okay? And then I can take that and turn it into a word. So let's go ahead and check out my fun little like random number, math.random. Yeah, that sounds good. So, okay, so here we go, math.random. It's a static method, returns a floating point. Floating point is a decimal number, pseudo-random number that's greater or equal to 0 and less than 1. Okay, so I'm going to get a floating point or a decimal somewhere between 0 and 1. Approximately uniform distribution, implementation, blah, 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 blah. Here's some code. Here's some stuff. Okay, so function get random int and then a max right here. And this is returning a math.floor of a math.random times max. Okay, so if I look at this, I can console.log get random int 3. So this is going to be a 0, 1, or 2, which is legitimately what I want. But I can't just copy this right? I can't just copy this because this is really where it's at. But also too, like I don't need to build this whole thing. I can just copy this, right? And because I know that it's going to be 0, 1, or 2, I can actually, instead of max, I can just put 3 in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go into my code really quick, and I'm going to put right here, pasty paste. And instead of max, again, I only want 0, 1, or 2, 0, 1, or 2. And that's going to give me a number between 0, 1, and 2. And then I can, what can I do here? I can, well, I could do like an if, right? Well, first let's console.log that, make sure it works. Make sure, like, I'm not crazy here. Like, I tell you, man, I am always console.logging things, just because. Let's save it. Let's make sure when I click the button, I get a number, or I get a word, right? I should get a word and a number. So like rock, I get a rock and a 0. And a paper, I get a paper and a 1. And scissors, I get a scissors and a 2. This is concerning to me. I was not expecting a 0, 1, and 2. Sometimes random is random. Let's click the button again. That's still a 2, that's still a 2, that's still a 2, that's a 0, 1. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 0, 2, 2, 2, 2, 0, 0, 0, 3, 3. Scissors. Okay, I am getting random numbers. This was just weird at first. Okay, so like again, 0. Nope, good. Okay, good. I'm seeing fairly randomness. Okay, because random allows it to be multiple things of weirdness. Anyway, I got a good choice here. Now I can build my like if, right? And like if computer choice is equal to 1 or 0. Let's do 0, right? Then what can I do? I can make computer choice get the value of, let's say, rock. Yeah, perfect. And then I can go copy. I can do else, and then paste. If computer choice is 1, then it can be paper, and then I can just have an else here because again, right? It's either going to be 0, 1, or 2. We don't need to check to see if it is actually 2. We can just do computer choice. Copy this. Gets the value of scissors, scissors, and this will give me like. I'm sure that there are better ways to do this. In fact, I can think of many better ways to do this. But for now, what we can see here is we've gotten a random number, right, over here. Made it into our computer choice. We're printing out our computer choice just for the funsies. Actually, you know what? Let's take that, cut that, and let's go ahead. Ooh, let's paste it here. Keep Z, and then let's go ahead and put it down here too. Sorry. Let's go ahead and put it down here too. Copy. And then paste, so that we can see what happens. Because we're using the same computer choice and we're giving it a new value, right? If it's 0, it's a rock. If it's a 1, if it's a paper. If it's not a 0 or a 1, it's a scissors, right? And so now at the end of it, our computer choice variable has changed. It's no longer a 0, 1, or a 2. It is a rock, paper, or scissors. And we could have done this lots of different ways, but for right now, I like using the if and the else if and the else, because these are very kind of basic ways that we can, because anything else would be this in disguise. That's why I like this, okay? We could have different things. Sometimes you can call this like a switch statement. If you have a lot of if, else, and they're all like these kind of things, it's a switch statement. You could also effectively have like an array that is rock, paper, or scissors as 3 different values, and then you could put this number into like to get the value of the array. Well, you could get the value of the array at that index, right? You could use this random number as an index for your array. But right now, I like how like beginner friendly this is. I like how clear this is. We are asking the question, if computer is 0, computer choice is 0, then computer choice is now getting rock. So let's go ahead and save that. Let's go ahead and refresh this. And again, we're really loving the console here. So let's go ahead and click rock. Rock, a 1 is a paper, okay? That's our choice. Our 0 is a rock. Oh, our choice is a rock. 2 turns into scissors. There's papers, papers, papers. Has a lot of papers in a row. There we go. Scissors, 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 scissors. Okay, so we're still getting this. And again, we're seeing that this is our value. That's what our choosing. Then we start out with the computer choosing a random number. And then we're converting that random number into a value that we want in our code. Okay, sorry about that break. I had to get myself a soda. Liquid lunch. Just full disclaimer, that is not my lunch. I will probably drink the soda and then have lunch. And anyway, so now we can come into here, into our happy code here, and we can say, okay, what are the wins, what are the loses, and what are the ties? Well, I can tell you right away, ties is really easy. If computer choice is the same thing as our player choice, oh, hey, you know what? Let's call this player choice. Oh, let's call this human choice. Yeah, human choice. There we go. That's consistent. And I can just change that in here. Human score, human computer score, option, 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 make choice. We got the human choice. Okay, sweet. So if the human choice double equals, is that a lowercase c? Did I do that to myself? I did. That's wrong. Fix that. Fix that. It just don't look pretty. Better. If it double equals computer choice, then what do? Do we need to change the score? No, because nobody won or lost there, so we don't need to change the score. But we can console out, not confirmed, console.log. We can console out tie. And we might even, do we have a spot for like a taunt or anything? We don't. We got this paragraph here, and then we got our buttons. So let's have another little paragraph here. Let's give this a class of outcome. Sure. And then let's give it an ID of, I don't know, outcome. Can you have a class in and out? Yeah, I think you can have the same thing, but that gets a little confusing though, especially when we're doing styles and stuff. So let's just have an ID of out. Let's have an ID of results. There we go. Yeah, sure. And then let's go ahead and put nothing in it. Just nothing. It's just going to show up, maybe even as a blank space. Let's save that. What does it show up as? Because I've just changed some HTML. Yeah, we don't even have an extra like blank space right here. So let's go ahead and put a just nothing in there. Ignore me. Yeah, save it. Beautiful. And now I should have the words ignore me right here. That's good. Great job. And then when I click this, I want the results here, right? So like, let's go ahead and into the JavaScript here, let's go ahead and print out, right? Like with that cool little console, no, not console, but inner HTML thing right here. Let's do that, copy that. And well, because I could just type it in though, right? Okay, so it's document dot get element by ID, and the ID here was result. And then we're going to go dot inner HTML, and it's going to get the value of, what are we going to get the value of? Player, gotta put this in quotes. Player chose, is that how you spell chose? I don't know. Player chose, and then add the human choice, and then add, see this is a string, we can add things to the string, and computer chose computer choice, and then this is a tie. Okay, sweet. And then let's end that with the semicolon. So let's see if we get a tie, shall we? Let's go and refresh this. That's with a rock. Rock is scissors, not a tie. With a rock, rock is a tie. Player chose rock, computer chose rock. This is a tie. Ooh, let's see if it happens with paper. Paper, not a tie. Paper, not a tie. Paper, paper. Player chose paper, computer chose paper. This is a tie. Oh, great job, us. Okay, so we got the ties. The ties are done. Let's go to winning next. Winning is fun. Mostly because winning is like if we don't win, then we lose, right? And then, you know, That'll work. Actually, if we think about that like whole, if we don't win, we lose thing, and we like check this out. We have it if it's a 0, else if it doesn't check this unless this is wrong, right? If this is right, it never looks at these things. That's what the else does. It never looks here if this is correct. And this else if, again, this else if, this is an if statement. Oh, sorry. This if statement, if this is right, it doesn't check this. Doesn't even bother checking. The only time it gets here is if this is wrong and this is wrong. Then it goes here. You know, I'm just checking here. Like for the wins, if we put this in a different way, if this is just, let's go ties. Let's get this, and let's go, bam. Yeah, ties, then wins, and then losses. Then our wins, we can start with an else if. We can go else, if, boom, just like that. And like, you know, I think we can have that on separate lines. Let's go ahead and let's have an if here, right? And then actually let's just do an else really quick. Let's get rid of these things. And let's just console. Maybe I won. Console. I tell you, man, console.log is the way to go. Console.log. Maybe win. And let's add a little thing there and save it. And let's go ahead and click this, refresh it. Tie. Okay, well, right off the bat, we got a tie. We got maybe a win. Maybe a win. Maybe a win. Yeah? So that else doesn't need to be on that same line. So let's go ahead and do an else if now. Now we actually need to check it. And then totally in here, this is the question, right? How do we check? Yeah? So if the human choice is rock and the computer choice, rock beats scissors, is scissors, then it's a win. Okay, so let's just write that down. If human is rock and computer is scissors, then we win. Maybe, so this is the human wins. Okay, so I gotta write this better. We can't just say HR and CS, and I'm not even sure and is a key word here. I think there's probably a different way of doing that. And also this is the single equal sign is not the double equal sign. That's not checking that as assigning values. So let's write this out properly. But also that's just one of the options, right? There's another option here. We can have also, let's have a little comma here, if the human, because we got 3 options, 3 ways to win. If the human is a rock paper, right? Human is paper, and the computer is paper's rock, then we win. And also, if the human is the rock, sorry, that should be paper, scissors, and the computer is paper, then we win. So all 3 of these, if any one of these is correct, we want the human to win. And we can actually, this looks really complicated here, but we can build this right into this single if statement. We don't have to have a bunch of nested ifs, right? Because we can have what's called an or. Instead of comma here, this could be an or, and this would be an or. And now we're using like ands and ors, and we gotta figure out how to translate that. But just for the funsies of it, let's go ahead and we can also just do this kind of weirdness right here, where we just put it all kind of on the same, different lines right here, right? And this still works because our punctuation is proper, right? It still works, even though we got some extra spaces here, this will be fine. So let's first make this the human choice, okay? So human choice, and this will actually be 2 equal signs because we're checking to see if it's equal, and this should be rock. And the actual like code for and is 2 ampersands. That's how and looks in JavaScript. Again, other programming languages do this differently. I think Python actually, you just type the word and. I'm used to the 2. That is a weird button on my keyboard. Sorry. Anyway, I am used to this this ampersand. So this is the computer choice, and this is of course a double equals. And this should be, in quotation marks, scissors, SCISSORS. And then this for this or, the OR isn't going to be an OR. It's going to be two what we call pipes. Now this is located on my computer, on my keyboard, above the enter key. It's the same button as the backslash button, but with the shift key. Okay? And that is an OR. And in fact, let me see if I can just shove that down onto one line. I can't shove it onto one line. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. That's okay. I've got it zoomed out too much. So that's fine. It's going to come up here. Oh, I can do it that way. Okay, sweet. So I'm going to, I would copy it if I were by myself. I'd copy this and then I would change these values to the proper values. But I'm going to type it all out. So let's go ahead and put this where it should be, human. I might type it all out. I'm going to use autocomplete for a lot of things, but this is going to be paper, P-A-P-P-E-R, P-A-P-E-R. How did I spell paper? How do I spell paper over here? I spell paper with two P's, and they're separated by an A. Okay, that's good. And of course, this is going to be and this is going to be the computer choice. And I'm making this kind of big if statement, but because of the way this OR works, it's going to check this. And if we're not certain, right, like if we want to make this really clear to ourselves, we can put this in parentheses. We can put this is going to be a thing, right? And then this right over here is going to be a thing, right? That's going to be a computer choice, is going to have two of those, and this is going to be a rock. And then we're going to parentheses that. We're going to have now no OR, but another. There we go. And then over here, let's go shove that in parentheses. This is going to be a human choice. This is going to be a scissors, S-C-I-S, C-I-S. How do you spell scissors? Oh my gosh, so hard all of the time. Scissors is spelled like this, S-C-I-S-S-O-R-S. Okay, C-S-C-I-S-O-R-S. Perfect. And again, not and, but two ampersands. Oh, I got to make sure that the right quotes are being used here. Thank you very much. This is the computer choice. And this, nope. And then this is going to be paper. Perfect. And that needs its closing parenthesis. So all of this, yay, all of this is effectively one line of code. It's happily wrapped up in parentheses, just like in math class. If we need to make things more clear, right? If human choice, and now we can actually look at this, right? Like this is saying if human choice is the same as rock and computer choice is the same as scissors, this will be true. If any one of these is true because of the or here, right? Or paper and rock is true, or scissors and paper is true. So if both of these things are true, that means this whole thing is true. And if any one of these big things is true, then it will go here and the human will win. Yay. Yay. Now, it will console.log the human win. But actually, we want to do more than console log human win. But let's figure that out after we make sure that this logic works. So let's go ahead and rock, human wins. Rock does in fact beat scissors. Do it again. Rock wins over scissors still. Paper does not win over scissors. Paper does tie. And paper does beat rock, human wins. This is great. Scissors beats paper, human wins. So our logic is totally working here. I'm pumped about this. So I need to clean this up a little bit. Actually, I need to put it out in the right spots because I've got my ties showing up over here, but I don't have my other results. So I want to have my other results. And I am going to take this. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it in here. This is my new sentence. Player chose human choice and computer chose this. This is a win for the human. And I'm going to say the human chose this. Yeah, and I'm going to change that up here too. Player is the human because the computer is playing too, right? The human chose that. Okay, this is a win for the human. Thank you very much. The human, not the human. And then also, because we have a score increase, right? We want to, and this is just one line. It's not like this is one line. This is actually just on one line. My line count says so. Okay. I need to change the score. Hey, change score. change score, and I need to, what is the proper thing to do in here? I'm going to, this ID up here is human score. Copy that. Human score. Paste. And I need that to be a string, so I'm going to wrap it like that. And then my score is going to change. Ta-da! And then, here's the fun part, right? For the losses, oh. All right. Anyway, for the losses, just like before, I have this if, else if, and else. I don't need any logic, because if it's not a tie and it's not a win, then the human loses. So now I can just have an else and no logic at all. Boom. I can just go right into here, basically take this, right? Copy it down to here, paste it, and I'm going to go human loses. And you know what? I want to be more positive of that, so I'm going to say computer wins, because, you know, it's not all just about the human. Human chose this, computer chose this. This is a win for the computer. And then here, instead of human score, I'm going to do computer score. Computer score. And so let's go ahead and save this. And that's it. We did all the hard work. Well, we did the easy stuff first, right? The ties are easy. Get rid of that. That's, again, 3 options. There's only 9 options anyway. 3 of them are taken care of by the ties. And the ties are real easy to code. And then 3 of them right here taken care of in the wins. And the last 3 are all the human losing. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. It's saved. Let's go ahead and tab over into our code here. Let's refresh this. And now what I see, like this ignore me, should change. I should be able to click rock. Human chose rock. Computer chose scissors. This is a win for the human. My computer score went up. Hold on a second. This is a rock, scissors. Why did my human score go up? That's a computer score. Okay, let's do rock again. Rock, rock. This is a tie. No score went up. Rock, paper. The computer wins, and my computer score went up. Interesting. Interesting. What am I doing here? Let's look at this. I am changing this score right here, human score, and I am, if player, oh, that says human. That says human. And this says anything else, right? So anything else is computer score. So this needs to specifically say human. So right over here, this needs to specifically say human. And this can then specifically, honestly say anything else, but just go for it. Save it. That is interesting. I'm glad we tested this. So let's go rock again. Rock, choose, human chose rock, computer chose scissors. This is a win for the human. That went up. That is good. Rock again. Rock and rock. This is a tie. Perfect. Rock again. Rock, human chose rock, computer chose paper. This is a win for the computer. Computer score went up. Rock, 2. This is a win for the human. I'm loving this. I am loving this. Now, that's all. I think that's all. I would, you know, if I were going to like publish this to the internet or something, I might go into my code and I would like, I don't know, probably get rid of. I would probably like comment out a lot of these console.logs. I don't need these anymore necessarily because it is working and it's working in the browser. So, you know, we don't have to have all of that console.log happening. And that'll make it a little bit, I mean, I'm going to say cleaner, but really it doesn't. You know, we don't need our error checking basically or that kind of thing in the code. And again, later on, I might even remove those console.logs. I would encourage you though, let's save this, especially for this class, leave them in there. Go ahead and leave the code in there that you don't need anymore. Just comment it out. I can read the comments. You can read the comments. The computer ignores the comments. It's not going to hurt anything to leave the comments in there. And it's a little bit of fun sometimes to like be able to go back into your code and say, oh, that's what I was doing. Like, oh, look at all those comments I had, right? So now if I run this, nothing's happening. I mean, nothing's happening over here in the console, right? Now, I will say this. This doesn't look cool, okay? This is kind of like baby's first rock, paper, scissors game. The other guy in the YouTube video, he made it look very cool. Feel free to make this look as cool as you would like. So far, I'm not doing too good. The computer really is winning. I'm just going to keep going scissors. I'm going to win. If I do this long enough, I will. Oh, man, that. Come on. That computer just knows me, man. I'm not as random as I think I am. Okay, I'm going paper for a while. Oh, gee whiz. Oh, I'm getting closer. Come on. It's best out of 40. Oh, shoot. He's 10 ahead. 10 ahead. That's... Okay. I just keep going this way. I'm getting there. I'm gaining on him. Yeah, I'm only 4 up now. 3 up. Ugh. Man, still 3. Okay. 2 away. 3 away. 2 away. 1 away. Oh. Okay, it's a tie game so far. Come on. Come on. Oh, I'm a winner! It only took me 118 games. Anyway, have a great time, guys. Bye.